Good morning and welcome to the third leg of the Captain and I's journey around the Brecon Beacons. 60 kilometres of the hidden ways. Now unfortunately the Captain can't be with me today, but today's our venture and final leg we're from Llwyn Onn Reservoir, past Cwm Taf Reservoir and up to Bannau, and then over the junction near Fan and into Brecon Beacons YHA. So there's a final stage, the final leg of this modest but beautiful journey. My first steps bring me here to Llwyn Onn Reservoir, and I think you'll agree as the first steps on a lovely cool quiet morning. It's absolutely wonderful. Let's take a closer look. What a fantastic start to the day. Fantastic. Llwyn Onn Reservoir, and as you saw through the forest, the path's just going to wander along its western side and then on and on and on, and then it's Cwm Taf Reservoir. Maybe drop into the visitor centre for a cup of tea. In the meantime, best to put one foot in front of the other and start to enjoy this fantastic place. And I got it all to myself this morning. Brilliant. Now just look at my OS map, it's obvious, and you also saw it from the drone footage there, that there's paths wandering hither and thither through the forest. That's not my direction today. It's going to be along the more sedate, forgiving gradient next to the reservoir. That'll change as we go along, because I'm going to gain probably about 500 metres in total if I get to Fan Fawr. So we'll see. In the meantime, I think the focus I'm going to look at is just enjoying a gentle wander along something that's certainly, after about 50 kilometres so far through the Talibont Valley and certainly around the north part of the Brecon Beacons, this is just a little bit easier on the knee, particularly after yesterday when we came over the moorland as the rain chased us along. So in the meantime, I'm just going to enjoy a stroll, and we'll check out the views as they start to merge and coalesce. Lovely. I think you'll agree it's certainly worth just stepping off the old tarmac road there just to come and enjoy a little bit of a twiddly footpath just through the edge of the woods and just taking in a little bit of a view of the old reservoir. Absolutely lovely. Certainly if you got it all to yourself this time in the morning. Not quite time for a cup of tea yet. Barely done a kilometre. And we'll just continue up this way. Probably back onto the road. I think it's wise to grab these views while you can. So another wee river emptying itself into the reservoir, the Llwyn Onn Reservoir. And it's time at this point, as we start to leave that reservoir behind, we're going to pick up the Taf Trail, which is going to carry us gently to our next destination, which will be the Cwm Taf Reservoir. So, a visitor centre that sits above Cwm Taf Reservoir between Llwyn Onn Reservoir and Cwm Taf. Fantastic place. I'm still a little bit early for it to be open this time in the morning. You can get a cup of tea, use toilets, and maybe a couple of miles in it's a nice place for a little stop. But we're going to continue. As the deciduous gives way into the pines, we're going to move on to the western shores of Cwm Taf Reservoir. So after a brief toilet stop and a bit of a cup of tea at the visitor centre there, it would be tempting to just chuff along on the usual route down in the valley, where the noise from the road and the tarmac road are less than appealing than up here. I'm just starting to enter the Cwm Taf forest, so named after the river that flows through the valley between the reservoirs and out through Merthyr Tydfil. So I've been noting deciduous gives way to just young silver birch, and now finally massive plantations of totally vertical pines, some less vertical than others. So I think there'd be a good opportunity just to get away from the noise in the valley and start to soak up some of the atmospheric sort of woodland pathway kind of adventures, as it were, as we mooch on. So we'll be getting our eyes on Cwm Taf Reservoir eventually. You probably saw a glimpse of it in that video clip there from my drone. In the meantime, one foot in front of the other, and we'll just soak it in. So with about 5 kilometres under my belt, we can finally get away from all those holiday log cabins and so forth and visitor centres, and actually enjoy the more remote parts of the valley. And as you just saw on that fantastic shot, just starting to get glimpses of Cwm Taf Reservoir looking like a slab of unpolished lead under this bit of a grey sky. But it might burn off, it might get sunny, but in the meantime, with it not raining, I'm happy just to keep plodding along, and the views will improve and change, and the scenery will reveal itself to us as we go along. In the meantime, I'm just content just to chuff along And like Depeche Mode say, enjoy the silence. Well, after that little jaunt through the forest, we get a bit of open land. So there's the main road, Merthyr Tydfil and Brecon, and it appears that our way will cross a couple of swampy bits and continue on towards the Bannau Reservoir. So yeah, after the quiet confines of the forest, a bit more open, and other than the roar of the traffic on the main road, I've got the place all to myself. Fantastic. Oh, as it turns out, we're on a section of the Taf Trail. Interesting. We met that on the first day as it wound its way around the little valleys amidst the Brecon Beacons, not over the tops, not at this stage, just in and out, like threading itself like a little needle amongst the tapestry of the landscape, if you will. And it doesn't take long after that jaunt across a bit of open moorland there, where we start to be embraced again by the forests here. It's absolutely lovely. So a good opportunity there to have a quick look at Bannau Reservoir and a glimpse back at the way we've come. However, with the I think the wind picking up this high near the pass and a bit of rain in the air, I might just put the old drone away just for a little bit. So let's see what we find. We're going to continue still northwards along the western side of Bannau or Beacons Reservoir, and I think a bit of an increase in altitude as we go along is certainly going to help our view of the reservoir for now. And would you believe it, that little twiddly tunnel through the pines has brought me out here just with a little glimpse of Bannau Reservoir. The back slopes of Cwm Taf just still in mist. So other than the two chaps who are trundling on ahead, it's the first people I've seen doing any kind of hiking. And all that's going to happen, I think, between here and maximum elevation is the views are just going to improve bit by bit. Well, if ever there was colours describing autumn perfectly, those trees have them. And other than the slab of lead that is Bannau Reservoir, My way is going to continue, well, sadly into the cloud at Fan Fawr at 734 metres. I don't think we're going to see an awful lot, but while my route goes through it, I want to give it a whirl. So I'll probably see the reservoirs that come back out the clouds. Well, I hope you can hear me over the roar of the wind, and I think I've just about reached the summit of Fan Fawr, and there's a convergence of lots of different paths. Just goes to prove how changeable the weather is up here. It started off absolutely lovely, so in the absence of anything to see, sadly, there's your panorama north to south. In the absence of anything to see across the Cornville or Pen y Fan, I think we're going to say thank you and farewell to Fan Fawr, 734 metres, and our way is going to continue with the cliffside to my right, to the east, and my eventual goal to my north. So thanks for following me so far. Just goes to show you can't have it all when it comes to views and the summits and the weather in the Brecon Beacons. Oh, there we go. Slightly out of the clag. We're going to see a bit of stuff around us now. Once we get out the clag a bit, come across this bit of a swampy do. It looks like you can see the slopes of the fells near Youth Hostel and the mountain pass where the tourist route goes up the side of Corndu there. So we've said a farewell to Fan Fawr, and if you just take a moment, you can just see as a path brings me back down to the mountain pass, the old car park burger van get up, and there's the tourist path. If I just zoom in a little bit, you can see it clearer. The tourist way to Cornville and on to Pen y Fan. So I'm leaving the palaver of the Story Arms, where all the tourists park to go up onto Pen y Fan, behind, and I must say now I'm entering my last K and a half or so, maybe a bit less, just to reflect on this 3-day adventure. 60 Ks in a circle roughly around the outside of the Brecon Beacons. No summits crossed other than a little bit of Fan Fawr. Don't really include that because there's nothing to see. And talking of things to see, you can see the fells just ahead of me there, still covered with a bit of cloud, bit of low cloud base, so no views today. But overall, over 3 days, it's been pretty good. The hidden lanes, the quiet forests, the untrod footpaths, the viewless peak there, but the reservoirs, the wind in your hair and the sun on your face on occasion, it's been fantastic. Definitely recommended. Certain vibes of the Pennine Way back there as we went on to Fan Fawr, the bogginess, the wind and the lack of visibility. So in summing up this adventure, I think it's been very easy on the eyes, I think it's been very kind to the knees, and it's been an absolute joy to wander the quiet lanes, the windswept forests and the slightly obscured fell tops of the outside of the Brecon Beacons. It's been a joy. No, we haven't charged over Pen y Fan and Cornville and Cribbin. We've done those things. It was time to treat ourselves to something different than Sawney's. So there we go, last kilometre or so, back to the youth hostel and tea and medals. Thanks for joining me so far. You can download the whole route at the bottom of this video in the description. Thanks for following me.